All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, just sitting here drinking my morning coffee, looking sexy as hell as usual. And I would chat with all you guys and gals. We never know what we're going to get in a coffee chat, how many people we're going to get. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's not. However, today is a deadlift day. We get in, do some heavy pulling, do some heavy pulls. Do some other back, or do some good mornings. I need to push my good mornings up if I really want my back squat deep into the 500s. Those good mornings absolutely have to come up. They're a critical exercise for me. And yeah, push up my big three quite a bit. Now that I'm not worried so much about getting leaner, just letting the low carbs and the fasting handle any more body fat, keeping the calories pretty high. I'm going to recomp kind of at this weight. I think my list will keep kind of pushing back up. So I want to focus on doing that. I'm going to look a little closer though what I'm doing with my benching. I do want to make sure my bench gets caught up. I feel like at this point, now that my squat's back at 500 plus, my deadlift is pretty reasonable. I do need to make sure that bench is coming up, especially if I want to have a certain look. I do need my chest and triceps coming up. So I feel like I definitely need to prioritize those. Right? Need to prioritize chest and triceps. So yeah, that's one reason I'm doing a lot of floor pressing right now. A lot of people argue with that. And I can make the case that I could just go back to incline instead of it, and that might work just as well. I think if I push the pullovers hard though, like I did this week, that may handle the extra chest work. So I have options there. Main thing is though, heavy benching, right? Keeping the bench really heavy for my bench work, focusing on that wide grip. Can we progressively overload Kegels? No, I don't think you can do that. I'm gonna let you stay because you're not a malicious troll, so I'll let you stay for a bit. That's the thing when it comes to trolling. I'm gonna try to be real cool about funny trolls, just malicious people. Um, I'll describe as stalkers because they're not really trolls. Trolling isn't my problem. Like I don't have a problem with trolls. I have a problem with stalkers. Like if you think you know 37 things about my personal life, you're probably a stalker. You know? So even if it's make believe and not even true, it's still in that category. So I'm gonna let you stay testicular. It would be nice if you would click a like though instead of just posting a comment. At the very least, I answered your question. There we go. So back over to training. We're going to deadlift today. I feel like squatting is coming along well. I have my squatting in terms of what I need to do to bring it up kind of dialed back in. And I really do need to start applying some of that same mentality to my benching, right? I think I need to apply the same mentality. So we're going to do that. Of course, at 4 in the morning when I woke up, I was tempted to change something that I'm not going to change. It was like, I don't know if I need direct work. I can throw the shoulder day away and put a second bench day in. Now, I already know that's going to beat my shoulders up. So let's not do that. Let's not do that at all. I don't think that would be wise or behoove me at this point. You know, don't think that would be the best choice. Yeah, so I think though for a bit though, I'm definitely gonna run with the floor press. I'm gonna run with the floor press. Again, easier on my shoulders. I want to make sure I can stay in that low bar position, and I do feel like sometimes the incline work and stuff puts a little stress on my shoulders in a certain way. And again, I've noticed 2 weeks of not doing it, I can easily get into a low bar position with just an empty bar now. So, but that could also be because I took the overhead workout too, and that's finally catching up. But yeah, my shoulders feel pretty good right now, so that's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know, part of me would love being able to focus really hard on incline and overhead, but I can't always get the ranges of motion I want on the overhead. So who knows? Yeah, I haven't decided how many sets of deadlifts I want to do today. I'm going to do a top set with 550. I want to push pretty hard. I might take it up a little higher. I might go 555, right? We go into PR territory. That's something I do think about with the top sets also. If I start getting to where I can get 4 reps, maybe it's time to up the weight on those top sets. All right. We're not getting maximum carryover. Not getting maximum carryover to the 1 rep max. So, yeah. Nobody else is asking questions in here this morning. It's pretty chill. We just have one trolley question, and that's it. It's also because it hasn't hit people's feeds. You got to give people a minute. They need time, right? They need time. Oh, also, I guess I could link my Amazon wish list on stuff. I'm going to start doing more of that too. Right? Maybe we need to do that because no one follows the Facebook from here. I might start just linking the Amazon wish list. That might work better. All right. There's my Amazon wish list, guys. I got everything from protein powders to more chucks to some guitars. If anybody wants to buy me a new Fender Strat for $1,600 or so, there's one in there. I need more colors, to expand the collection. I know that pisses my haters off. Everyone else does it. I'm doing good, Maddie. How about you? Everyone else said all these other influencers do it. I see these chicks who link their Cash App nonstop. They link their gift lifts, and they only have 3,000 followers. They literally they throw their Cash App up there. All right? They just straight do it. I swear I'm going to start doing the same thing. I need to do it everywhere. My Instagram. Here's my Cash App, yo. I stand at incline bench 200 for 16 reps. Nice. You sure, Medi? I want to see video footage evidence of this because I don't see any lifting on your channel, and everybody has a smartphone. Like nobody can claim. We don't live in my era where I came up to where these things didn't exist, right? Right? These things did not exist. We didn't have cameras that we could just take to the gym. Like our cameras were like this big. It's like put it on VHS tape, It was all analog. You guys don't have that excuse. You all walk around with an HD camera and a supercomputer in your pocket. Like you literally have to have one to survive. So I don't buy that nonsense. I can't film. No. Sorry, Medi, just calling it like it is, man. Mainly because that's pretty impressive. But why are you doing 16 reps with that? So why are you trying to do that many reps on these lifts instead of just getting stronger? Like, what is your goal from this? Because I don't believe you, by the way, because you don't put any of it up. So I'm entertaining you, but why are you doing all these and counting this as a number of reps you do? So because you can't take those high rep sets and say my flat bench isn't much because you're doing high rep stuff. You're going to get skewed results when you start going past about 10 or 12 reps. We get into weird territory. Okay, just saying. Just saying, Betty. More and more people trickling in, though. So maybe we'll get some more interesting dialogue and comments in here. Seeing what's going on. Getting a bunch of comments on that video. Some of my reels on Facebook are getting like 40, 50,000 views. And it's always my back exercises, right? Everyone hates my back work. I get so much fun. Occasionally get people coming here like, you guys really don't know what you're talking about. His stuff looks great. His back is jacked. but it's 95% criticism. No one likes the way I do pull-ups. No one likes the way I do any type of row. And check this out, guys. People always say, you're never going to build your lats. That's the criticism I get from people. And apparently some of the biggest criticisms is that I don't squeeze at the top of anything. I go too heavy and I don't squeeze. I wonder what delusional world people live in where they think squeezing at the contraction helps build your lats. I've said for years this is one of the reasons so many guys have small lats. Focusing on nonsense like that is literally holding people's back development back. I've noticed there's a big correlation between having underdeveloped lats and guys who focus on squeezing their lats. And they're squeezing their back together at the top of all their back movements. I'm just saying, I've noticed this over decades. Those are usually the guys with the smallest backs. 9 times out of 10. Just saying. No, you're not going to lower your testosterone. In fact, it may slightly boost it temporarily. Not that it matters. Why do you guys worry about your indigenous testosterone production? There's very little you can do to affect it positively or negatively, other than extreme lifestyles that hurt it or help you slightly. You guys really shouldn't worry about that. Honestly, and if you really cared about your testosterone, you just go pin some. That's what kind of like I said in the stream last night, some of these problems people have, these insecurities, these things would completely go away if they just penned a little test. I said that to one of the guys he's scared a certain exercise would look feminine in the gym if he did it. It's like, dude, if you penned 200 milligrams of test a week, that thought would never even enter your brain. It wouldn't even be a thing. You would just walk over and do glute bridges in the good girl, bad girl machine and be like, it's going to help me pound pussy, bro. That would be where your brain goes. That's all you'd be thinking about. You wouldn't even care how it looks. You wouldn't care if anybody thinks it looks feminine. You just wouldn't care. You just don't care. All right. So you can tell the guy's a mindset of guys who've never done any test. It's funny. You can tell the difference. So there's a mentality difference, right? Man, this is slow in here today. Yeah, Mehdi, I don't believe you on any of your lists. You're gonna have to upload some footage, and I'm just calling it like it is. Take your smartphone next time and see some of this. Because you also ask for a lot of questions for help and you don't put any footage up. So I'm going to assume you don't actually work out because you'd have some footage up. Or you'd contact me for help with some of your footage. You haven't done that. So, but buttermilk biscuit. I like the name though, dude, even if your question is kind of funny. No, dude, I wouldn't worry about that. Again, the data would show the exact opposite potentially to a very, very mild, but again, not enough to really matter. That's where guys mess up. They start obsessing over, and I went through this phase, by the way. I mean, we've all been through this phase. So when I tell you guys this stuff, I want to be clear. I'm speaking as someone who, when much younger, I went through this same mindset, especially when I had come off the gear later and I was dealing with some stuff. I'm kind of like, what can I do in my lifestyle to boost my testosterone as much as possible? And, you can get into some really bizarre stuff. And none of it, there's no research at all, this whole semen retention or nonsense like that. That will actually do the opposite potentially. But, it's the things that will boost your testosterone. They're all transient, like they're minor. And before long, you're doing all sorts of crazy stuff, hoping for a 3% testosterone boost. And it's not going to make any difference. But I mean, we can go through giant lists of stuff that cause testosterone fluctuations in your behavior. Right? Man, this is a dead breakfast coffee chat. Sometimes these get 40, 50 people. This one is just Nobody in here today. Guess it's a Tuesday. Like, it's the lowest I've seen one in weeks. A couple of days ago, I had a really good one. Weekends tend to be really good. So mainly because you guys aren't engaging, so then it's not putting other people into the feed. Just lack of engagement. So tell you what I'm gonna do, guys. I might go get some coffee and then come back. All right. I go get some coffee and then come back and see if some people trickle back in and get some real questions. So these got to run for a little while sometimes before we get the peoples in, right? Sometimes they got to run a bit. All right. I'm going to go refill my coffee, though, guys. I am empty, and I'll be back to you here shortly. Well, less people watching when I went up to refill my coffee. These hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal at all. Check something here. Well, so I guess I'll talk a little bit about today's training, and then I'll wind this down if people don't roll in. But then what happens, I want to wind it down, then all of a sudden 30 people roll in. It's like weird. Yeah, deadlift day. I'm just heavy deadlifts. Like I said, I think I'm going to go up 5 pounds on the top set. Instead of 550, we'll work with 555. Do some deadlifts there and crank those good mornings up. I feel like right now getting the good morning back to a 500 plus is going to be a priority for me because it carries over extremely well to both my squat and my deadlift. So again, getting that, so that's kind of going to be a short-term goal. I want to get to that 500 again. It's another reason too, I don't want to push the deadlifts too hard beyond the top set, right? So that I can hammer the good mornings. And I can always do extra deadlift variations for back off, right? There's stuff I can do. Double overhand axle bar just for the grip training. But I also question if I really need that at all anyways. I don't know that I really do. I don't even know if I need the GHR, honestly. I feel like for me, I get the most carryover from reverse hypers and good mornings. So it's kind of where I'm going to put my efforts, I believe. Where we put the efforts. All right, it's where it does the most good. Yeah, Dean, I haven't seen it. I don't like Sam Saluk's physique. I don't like the current state of bodybuilding. I mean, I've seen it all through social media. People ask me every live. I think Sam is. I don't like the leanness. I didn't care for the look. Right. And it's weird because I'm getting people who are serious bodybuilding aficionados who are like, he's not going to be Mr. Olympia, but it's like he has such a massive fan base, that people have these ideas because he's got such a fan base that he's going to go do these things, and it's like he's not going to be in the top 5 in the Olympia. And like I said, I don't dislike Sam. I'm just not a fan because I just don't like a young kid promoting. The amount of gear he had to use early on is excessive. It's just too much. And then all the junk food makes me not really want to be supported. This guy who promoted all these people drinking chocolate milk to bulk up. This is a problem. Like, this is problematic. Um, but yeah, I mean, if we're going to discuss bodybuilding, like objectively, I just didn't like the physique. It just wasn't the aesthetic of what I think bodybuilding should be. But I don't like current bodybuilding anyways. Somebody tells you have some serious skills on the barbecue. I'm pretty good at the grill. Jason, your thoughts on people saying bodybuilders were bullied and insecure? That's what. Hey, Dale, how can you take the fact that so many people take training seriously to think that there's one thing? I don't think that's the case at all. I know tons of bodybuilders who are not. I find a large number in serious lifters. I find a huge number of child abuse and rape survivors actually being an enormous demographic. So not bullied, people who were assaulted is an extremely high number. So when I talk to other people, a lot of serious lifters, massive chunk. So that's actually a bigger factor than people who were bullied. Sir, what's your current body weight? 217 right now, 217 pounds. Ruger, I am actually known for my cooking skills in various circles of friends and girls. So yeah, I'm a pretty good cook. What's your current PR? I don't know. Marcinio, maybe 155 pounds. I can't overhead press anymore. So I think my best has been like 155, and I just quit doing it. I mean, you've seen me do 227 and a half when I used to do it, but I don't have the ability to lock it out. I can't lock out my arms or a broomstick, let alone a barbell. So I guess it's zero. So, like, are you talking about an overhead press that would pass in a strength lifting comp? My weight is zero. I can't do it with a broomstick. So there's your answer. But you've seen me incline like 245 for 7. All right. I agree. I don't think it varies. I don't think it's as simple as putting them all into one box can be possible. Yeah, Dale, that's a really silly mindset that people have. That's a really, really ridiculous mindset. When people say it's because they're really. You know, and again, what are we defining as a bodybuilder? You're talking about everyone who lifts seriously. But I know in powerlifting, definitely a massive number of sexual abuse survivors. Massive number. Recovering addicts also commonly. That's a pretty sizable one. I know a lot of so it's a whole lot of people choose to get into lifting. Some people do it just because they wanted to get into lifting. Like, a lot of people did it to lose weight. A lot of people did it for different reasons. A lot of people did it to get girls. You know, I mean, there's tons of reasons people get into lifting and catch the bug. Right. I've always enjoyed your no-nonsense approach to YouTube. Was to somehow come to an end in the future, would you miss it? I have Facebook, dude. Some of my Facebook videos get just as many views as my YouTube, actually. Hey, Marcinio, it's not painful. I literally just can't do it. It doesn't actually hurt. So it's like, no, it's not painful. I just can't, it won't go. So do you want me to show you? Watch. This is as far as my arms go. This is my full overhead lockout. That's why I get incline bench and not overhead. So do you see the problem with the overhead press? People are like, dude, you're strong on the incline. How come you can't overhead press? Well, because that's my full overhead. I literally, and I've done every physical therapist thing that everyone has ever showed me. Nothing helps. Literally nothing helps. And it's both sides. I just can't go any higher. That's it. What do you do? Cool. I don't do Facebook myself, but at least you have a platform also. Is there any YouTuber you would like to meet? Hey, Dale, it's not going to be a man. I can assure you that much. I could list you, man, about 7 or 8 girls I'd love to. I'm good. How about Hattie James Fitness right there? You know, I can't think of a single dude that I really just want to go meet. Just not. It's not my thing, dude. I'm just not a dude. Like I only like guys if they're in my circle. Like I don't like hanging out with guys I don't know. It's just not something I enjoy doing. So even my circle of friends, like we run it by. It's like, hey, we want to bring this dude to hang out. Is this cool? Like it all gets run by us in any social setting, like my circle. But chicks are fine, dude. I love hanging out with different girls. I don't like meeting new guys and then just broing out. Not my thing. I mean, I can do a thing with on like a live stream, but I just don't want to hang out with a dude with a penis. Just not my thing. So it's like I have my bros, and I'm just like that. You know, I only want to be around new dudes if they're, my circle or one of my friends brings them around who says they're cool. Like that's like a minimum requirement. Like they have to vouch for them. I'm not chilling with them otherwise. Just my personality. And then I'll be myself. I'll be cool. I'll beat you. Yeah. So yeah, I don't get the appeal. You know, just because someone's on YouTube you like their work doesn't mean you want to hang out with them or meet them. Like I've never understood that mindset. Maybe it's just my own personality. I've never got it. You know? Um, I say that, but then anytime new friends or dudes get thrown in the mix, I just goof off and bro with them. I'm just talking smack. I'm really just talking smack. Um, but my mind straight went to some of the hot girls. I'm like, yeah, man, I'd love to meet her. You know? Jason, you've spoken before about John Little and his training methods that he claims out. Have you noticed how obsessed he's in? Um, well, he made that very obvious that he's a student of Mentor. Like the guys told you that 25 years ago. Here's the thing: has anyone ever seen John Little? See, that was the difference when all those books and writers and stuff came out back in the day. Dudes would be writing these books about training. We don't know if they even worked out. How common was that back in the day for workout books and magazine articles and stuff to be written by people? We didn't even know if they were 140 pounds. Why did you originally start working out? Marcinio, I've discussed that a lot. I don't have a good answer at this point because then people ask me, when did I start lifting? And I realized I got it wrong. So I did a whole history of my original starting lifting. I did a whole video if you dig it up. Right. And so the question is when I first was shown how to do any lifting or when I decided to actually lift and walked into like a real iron gym the first time I was taking anyone and taught how to squat. And then I started lifting, or do we mean when I was 12 years old or 13 and we took a middle school lifting class and the PE coach brought all the weights in and taught us to clean and press, or do I count when my dad had the little bench and dumbbells and wanted me to lift a little bit when I was, 12 and I did just a little bit or when I joined the gym for a little while at 18 and then quit, and just did circuit training under a personal trainer. So I originally started I don't even know how to answer this. Honestly, I'm just waffling. Right. But I didn't get into lifting till I was early 20s. So I want to say approximately 22. Right. But I didn't lift back then. I mean, I didn't start until I was like 22. I got it. I ran, lost weight as a runner. And one of my cousins got me into the gym, and I worked out with his brother's son too for a while. The cousin who kind of taught me into NFL coach now. He played NFL for a couple, like 4 years. He got me into trying to get under a barbell, really, and I really liked it and ran with it. But then I decided to do it because of, again, my history of childhood abuse. It was a good way to get my anger out in a positive manner. Um, I saw bigger, stronger, faster before I even made a YouTube. All right. Never seen John Little. I've never seen John Little. Okay, Dale, let's be clear. The guy, John Little, who wrote all those books, to my knowledge, when he wrote all those books, no human being had ever seen a photograph of him. He wrote those books with nobody knowing if he worked out, if he was a white dude, a black dude, a Hispanic. We had no idea. Nobody knew what he looked like. He just wrote all those books and nobody had ever seen him. What does the incline bench hit more than flat bench and standing press, the upper chest? Jason, what documentary featuring the Bell Brothers called? A man criticized Bell Brothers for being, they were out of shape. I don't know that my skills, I use Excel, but no, I'm not like great at Excel. I'm mediocre at best at Excel. I use it, but I've never needed to be really good at it for any of my work. I'd used it for some when I worked for Cameron. We did use it a bit more with some of the formulas, but that's been so long that I've forgotten all of it. I'm 35 and really started taking it seriously 6 months ago. Starting later really going to hold me back. I mean, it's going to hold you back to some extent, Josh, but there's no reason. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you, Josh. Unless you're genetically gifted starting at 35, you're probably not going to deadlift 600 pounds. You're probably not going to bench 350 without steroids. I'm just going to call it like it is. But you could certainly be in the top 1% of the population. Just again, if you're a genetically average guy, you're probably not going to have enough time to achieve greatness. I mean, you can still be in the top 1% of the population, but you're not going to be phenomenal. You're not going to have enough time. Probably unless maybe you get on a little bit of test and everything and push it for about 10 years. So maybe mid 40s, you'll probably start peaking. But you know, the people who, here's what I would say for a lot of people, waiting till you're 20 holds you back. I mean, if your goal is absolute great, because holding you back means, you know, do you want to be the best of the best? You probably should start at 13. Because of the epigenetics involved. But I also have coaching slots open, Josh, by the way. If you need help in your journey, I have coaching slots. Since you're 35, you're probably more financially stable than a lot of people. I prefer to work with over 35 as my primary clients. So hit me up if you need coaching. I have 3 slots open right now. Greg Valentino was a documentary. He's quite funny. He brings them down to earth a bit. Like, Greg Valentino is not an unreasonable guy. It was just all the side enhancement. Yeah. How many guys in their late 30s actually deadlift 600 and bench over 300? I think a lot do, Marcinio. I think a lot do. Then again, keep in mind the circles I've run in. So we have the whole internet image versus what people see in real life. But then keep in mind, I've competed in powerlifting quite a bit. I've judged powerlifting. I have a slightly different, skewed, warped perception. Hey, Dale, are we really going to discuss breatharians as a real thing? Do we even need to discuss this? This sort of weird hippieism that people come into these strange ideas when they do too many drugs. I don't even want to discuss this brain dead topic because I've known people who look into these things because of certain circles I've known in the past. No, I just can't entertain that level of stupidity, and that's all that we can say about it. Right? I would say that any person who actually believes it's possible needs to be locked up in psychiatric care and evaluated. And I'm not joking. I've never played any GTA number 1 through anything. Arsenio, yeah, can we not talk about breatharians? It's a real stupid thing that people try to do. And I've heard stories of someone I knew who tried to do one, and the guy was like starved away down to about 85 pounds and had to be hospitalized. It's just another outlet for anorexia, trying to be enlightened with hippie new age stuff. Just a form of anorexia. I mean, veganism quickly can turn into a form of anorexia. It's a mask for anorexia for a lot of people. So here's the thing. That's one reason I'm so hard on vegans. Veganism tends to draw 2 types of mental illness. It draws in extreme sociopaths, and in a large numbers, like 20% of vegans are extreme sociopaths. It also draws in anorexic in huge numbers as a socially acceptable outlet for their anorexia to mask. It's a mask for their anorexia. Okay. And the reason it also draws in such large numbers of sociopaths, you guys ready? Ooh. They can mask their hatred of other humans by pretending to love animals more than humans. And Vegan Gains is a perfect example, right? He didn't care about animals. He hates humans. He has no capacity for empathy for other humans. And so he hates them very easily. And so he can mask that to some extent by pretending to care about animals. Number 1. Number 2, there's a lot of really weak people with a victim mindset who get drawn into veganism, excessively sensitive people with eating disorders. The sociopaths like to be able to prey on them. So it puts them into their circles. It allows them into circles of people who are very emotionally weak and vulnerable as a mask for them to say, oh, they're sensitive, they care about animals. And they're more willing to open up to them and allow them into their lives, and it gives them prey for the truly vicious sociopath or those on the dark triad. Now, this is well understood, John. Like I've watched this dynamic at play. Matt, Vegan Gains is a self-admitted, clinically diagnosed sociopath. Keep that in mind. Just like people say, Jason, you messed up or you said this or that on camera, it's forever. Vegan Gains admitted on camera, he is clinically diagnosed as a sociopath. About 1 in 5 vegans are sociopaths. All right, afternoon, Coach. Hello, Lars. Hey, Lars, why you hating on me for testing those comments, man? You need to test life as the best life. You know, here's the thing, Lars, you made that comment, but how many dudes over 40 are on testosterone? Like everybody I know. Dude, I know like 2 guys over 40 who aren't on tests. Okay? Like 2. So that's kind of a cop-out to say, Jason, you used to test. Like, come on, dude. Realistically, everybody's on testosterone. Exactly. You're on TRT. So, yeah. So And you also know that it does not. So any guy in his 40s on TRT knows for a fact you still don't recover like you did when you were 22 from training. You know you're still 45 years old, dude. Because your test is good doesn't mean your recovery is good. Do you play any sports? No, I don't play any other sports. I'm 48 years old. What makes you think I'm going to go play all these other sports and get, come on. I lift weights. I do conditioning work. All right, vegan activist Joey Armstrong is another psycho. He used to be a gangster and would go around smashing up other humans. Now he pretends to care about animals. Yeah, it's not his repentance. He's a sociopath. He uses veganism as a mask. I'm 55, recovery is horrible to your, and exactly, Lars. So that's what's funny with these younger guys. They'll say, you're treating your old TRT, and it's like, and I out-train them, and I'm like, yeah, you guys are going to be in for a rude awakening. So I love it when these 20-somethings harp on about the TRT and older guys like me using testosterone. And I'm like, you guys are going to be in for a rude awakening. They're going to feel so stupid in their 40s that they took that mindset. They're going to be like, wow, I was so dumb. And that's okay. I mean, people don't know what they don't know. They're children. And that's why, and I say this and people get upset. I'm like, dude, if you're 27, you're a child. You have no concept of anything. You're a child. You're 27. And these guys are an example. These guys who are 27 and lift, and they harp on about natural and TRT being unfair for dudes in their 40s. And it's like, wait for it, homie. Wait. 20 years from now, you're going to be like, I can't believe I said that. Wow. I saw someone at the gym this morning using knee wraps on their elbows to bench. T-cart. No, the only reason to do that is so that you can cheat and lift more weight and reduce tension at the bottom. And it will destroy your elbows. You're a physical therapist. What's going to happen to their elbow joints benching heavy eventually with those wraps around their elbows? What's your educated guess to the long-term consequences? Because we know what knee wraps do to the joint in the long term. That's been studied. It's not good. Jason, what are your thoughts on vegan gains shown in Eddie Hall a few years ago? Do I need thoughts on this? How well do you think that would end? All right. Natasha, I'm not giving you anything. You need to send me money. Natasha, let me explain how this works. You send me money. I don't send you money. I'm running a business here. All right. Is there any part of that that's unclear? Marcinio says, I'm already trying to prepare for it at 23, right? I didn't know if it was some weird multiplier. No, they're not allowed in competition. You have to have oak bear skin on the elbow. You cannot have anything covering your elbows in a powerlifting meet on the bench. There's a limit to how far the wrap can go down, and your t-shirt can't go past a certain point. So pretty much from here, right about here to here, has to be completely bare skin in a competition. So even the guys who wear elbow sleeves are doing it to cheat. I made a video on this yesterday that's not going to be up for a couple of weeks. All right. Or my calves veiny right now. Yeah. Buttermilk. I'll show you my calves for a super chat. If you don't, you got to pay. That's how it works. I'm going to quit doing this stuff for free. How do you go about a gear consult? Message me on Facebook through Messenger. I do probably on average 3 gear consults every single month on average. So hit me up there and make a messenger account if you need to. I charge $100 for a gear consultation. We get an hour plus in a video call with me, and we break everything down. Have any blood work ready that you have. I do a lot of these. All right. I'm aiming for. So he's basically destroying his elbows for fun. Well, he's destroying his elbows to lift more. T-Carp, I'm hoping he's got some serious weight on the bar. If it's not at least 405 and he's doing it, it's just, this is ridiculous. Different question, but I was a young man infatuated with a woman. She invited him around for dinner to meet her parents. She tells her father very protective. So, what? There was him. Why would he be nervous? I mean, dads are going to do that. I mean, sometimes with your younger guys, the dad's going to. My advice to him, so she's got a really protective dad. I'm assuming how old are they, Dale? I need to know the ages to have to give what advice I'd give him. No buttermilk, because I think it's funny because people want to see all this stuff, and I get super chats in these all the time. Money's money. $20 is $20 on me. I got taxes to pay. You guys think I'm kidding, man. The IRS that's why I'm like, Trump, please close the IRS. The IRS is bending me over right now. So yeah. $20 is $20. That's right. I'm not gay, but $20 is $20 now. So you're going to pay for that calf shot. All right. For $50, I'll show you my foot. How are you with ladies' parents? Usually fine. Dads usually like me. She's okay. So she's going to go meet the dad, and the dad is protective still. So does she live with her family? So I would say just tell him show up and be polite. Right? I'm assuming he has a job, because that's going to be what dads, if they're in their 20s, yeah. So it's a little different if they're in their 20s. It's not going to be the same as if they're teenagers. All right. I mean, I don't have a problem dating Latinas in their 40s. I mean, but I'm sure she doesn't live near me. All right. Tell him just be respectful, be polite. It's pretty straightforward. Why does he need to be nervous? Unless he doesn't have a job or something. He works part-time. She got a protective dad, and he's 26, and he shows up and says, yeah, man, I work a 30-hour week at GameStop. That would be something to be nervous about. Yeah. To follow up on the coffee chat from yesterday, you should post a video of you doing RDLs and yoga pants up close. That's what I need to do, man. I need to get some yoga pants on and do some RDLs, right? Like the Instagram chicks. Be like, check out my form on the RDL. Check out my new yoga pants. Because I have no shame. That's the thing. Like, people try to clown on me. They really don't understand. I really don't have shame for the most part. It's not how it works. Like, you're really not going to embarrass me, guys. I don't own any. Why would I own leather pants, buttermilk? I am actually straight. I mean, all jokes aside, dude, I'm strictly taco no burrito. I might joke a lot, but yeah, exactly. Ain't no shame in my game, dude. Thanks, Jason. So your old school advice would be to be polite and respectful. Yeah, why? That's the advice. Just be polite, be respectful. Tell him to shake her dad's hand. That'll go a long way. Like, if she got a super protective dad and he's worried about it, just, yes, sir, no, sir, and shake the man's hand. That'll defuse a whole lot of stuff real quick. Right? That will smooth things over a lot. Buttermilk, that's a weird question, dude. Jesus Christ. No, dude, you don't have to experiment. you kind of know if you like other dudes or not. It's not exactly, are you serious? Men and women have a different thing on this. Like dudes know straight up if they're gay or bi. Like nobody has to tell you. They don't need to experiment. Either they look at a dude and they're attracted to him or they aren't. It's not complicated. Have you ever had your girlfriend's mom? I have never once had any girlfriend of mine's mom try to pick me up. No, never had that happen. How would you structure a 4-day body part split? Well, you're gonna have to pay me for that, Darth, if you want. I don't program for free. May I ask Jason, and you don't have to answer, do you have any close girlfriends or relatives that brought a guy home or to your attention? Do you got a bad? Of course. All right. Is your power rack bolted to the floor? No, it's heavy enough that it's fine, dude. It's not moving. My power rack with everything set up on it is like 500 plus pounds. And it's got the extended arms. It's not, you can't tip it. Hey, Dale, that's not my place. Dale, let me be clear. If one of my cousins has a boyfriend I get a bad vibe from, it's literally not my place to go. I'm not doing all that. If there's a problem, there's a problem. If I need to intervene, then we need to intervene. But no, I'm not going to go. What do you mean protective? They're grown women. It's not my place to tell them who to date. I mean, I've even had friends who got a dude they really shouldn't be with, and I've told them my opinion of it. Be like, why don't you get rid of this clown? But I'm not going to go get involved. Why would we do that? I mean, I've got a friend now. I've told her husband. I'm like, dude, why are you with this man child? Like, I don't know. I've got an overgrown boy. And I'm like, well, get rid of his ass. It's not that difficult. All right. I think you have to try to be 100. No, dude. No, you don't. It sounds like you've got some issues you need to resolve. If you think that's the case, Buttermilk, it sounds like maybe you need to sort through some stuff because you would know. Like, no. So in that case, then you're curious. So then you're probably bi, dude. This is what it is. Pretty straightforward. Like if you think there's any possibility, and that's probably the reality. All right. Thanks, Jason. I get the sense you're as old school as they come. That one sees is what gives with you. Yep. I get the sense you would rather not fight. Yeah, I'm not going to fight anybody if I don't have to. But I'm not going to stand there and throw punches. I'm not going to get hit in the face. If we're going to come to a fight, we're just going to go straight to lead. I'm not standing there throwing punches with a dude. Again, I'm too old to get hit in the face. And I don't want to fight. All right. Dips versus bench for pec hypertrophy. Bench. Seem to have an insane work ethic. Most of my friends agree. That's not Texas style, Marcelino. That's just reality. I guess maybe it's a cultural thing. I think it's an old man thing. That's the general attitude. I know everybody, once they get in their 40s or 50s, are just like, dude, I'm not fighting some guy. Well, it sounds like your country needs to be fixed, Biscuit. Fix your culture, fix your laws. Fist fight. Grown men don't get in fist fights. Mature adult men don't get in fist fights anyways. But you can bring a baseball bat to a fist fight. You can bring a chair. Why are you going to stand there and throw punches with someone? Hit them with something. Pick up a brick. I mean, Jesus Christ. Oh, buttermilk, shall I quote Jesus? Would you like me to quote Jesus? If a man does not have a sword, he should sell his cloak so that he can go buy one. Go look that up. All right. So my answer to you is you're walking around unarmed. Don't claim you follow Jesus because he told you to go buy a sword. All right. A man has a basic duty to his society to be armed. You have a basic responsibility as a man to be armed. Well, then you need to get out of your pussy ass country. All right. Nobody messes with a naked man with a gun. Probably T-cart. Yeah, Jesus would definitely carry nowadays. All right. That's going to piss people off. Be an outtake somewhere. Man, it's almost 9 o'clock. I need to get off here and get some deadlifting done. What do you guys think? I think it's time to go pull some heavy ass weights. So I'll catch you guys next time.